What was it like in the moment then? Like that final whistle blew and you knew that's it, that you've won.
All I can remember is like people diving on top of each other after we've won and everybody celebrating, all coaches, staff running on. Amazing feeling.
For the second time in their history, England are Wheel Chair Rugby League World Cup winners.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another episode of the DaneMellowsTalks podcast. Today, we have got a Wheelchair Rugby League World Cup winner with us. Well, ladies and gentlemen, welcome Nathan Collins to the podcast. How's it going, mate?
Yeah, I'm good, mate. Thank you for having me.
No, anytime. How are you getting on?
Yeah, we're really good at the minute. Like I said to you before, I'm just a bit knackered at the minute, but obviously because I'm training and working at the same time at the minute. But yeah, it's going really well.
Yeah. I bet it's hard to try and get that like work-life balance with it, is it?
Yeah, sometimes. Well, sometimes because I work at two different centres at the minute.
Right.
So, obviously, people don't know I'm a lifeguard as well. So, yeah, it depends what centre I work at because some centres have a gym. And
Okay. So you can go to like
yeah,
gym
I
work
can
straight
go.
after
Yeah,
work. Yeah.
So I can go and train straight after. I finish work sometimes. I even just go to the gym before I start working, so it is quite handy to have there, and it's quite a good job to have where there's a gym available to me to be able to you know put into use, which also contributes to my rugby side of it. So yeah.
How many days are you actually training towards the rugby then?
So I train 5 times at gym, so Monday to Friday.
Mm-hmm.
Plus a rugby training session on a Wednesday night. So I train before I go to work on a Wednesday morning at gym. And I train a leg session because we're going to train like a pushing because wheelchair pushing.
So how did all that get started then, getting into wheelchair rugby? Because that's sort of like, well, it might not be, but in my eyes, that looks like a bit of a niche thing, a niche area of rugby. Is that right? Is that wrong? Or how did you get into that?
Yeah, so I got in. Well, I've played rugby my whole life. I played the running game since since I could start. You know, at the bottom age you can start at, until I was about 15. So I actually started playing the wheelchair game when I was 10 years old. I went to if you know of like Scouts and Beavers and Cubs and all that. So
Yeah.
I'm not sure which one it is. I think it might be like Cubs, the middle one.
Yeah.
So I went there and they did like a taster session for wheelchair basketball at the time, and the guy that was running it said, "Would you like to come down? Would you like to have a go? Because you're quite good with your chair skills and ball handling and stuff like that." So I said, "Why not? We'll just give it a go." I was playing plenty of sports at that time, so I don't know how I managed to fit it in. So yeah, so I went down and played wheelchair basketball for a little bit first, but then I found out they were starting up a rugby team.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought, well, why not choose to play rugby instead of basketball? Because I've played rugby my whole life. Why not keep that going? And so, yeah, I transitioned over to the rugby side of it. And yes, I've never looked back really, just been playing there the whole time, whilst playing the running game at the same time as well. So, yeah.
So when you started that, did you ever even like conceive that it could lead to winning a World Cup in wheelchair rugby? That like could be the path that you started on?
Yeah, no, not all. You know, I started playing it just to have some fun and meet new people at the start. And yeah, I wouldn't think it had brought me to playing for England when I first started at 16, and coming to a World Cup at end of last year. So yeah, it's been an amazing experience.
So wheelchair rugby has been called one of the most inclusive and accessible sports for everyone. What does that mean to you?
Yeah, that's exactly how I feel it is. You know, anybody can play it, male, female. You know, how old you are, it doesn't really matter. Young, you know. So you can play with brothers, sisters, dads. You know, if say somebody's dad's got a disability, the son can play with him. That's what's the good thing about it is.
Yeah.
And you saw that at the World Cup. You know, Deck, who plays for England, his dad were playing for Ireland, and that's what you wouldn't see that in any other sport really. So that's why it's amazing to be a part of. So yeah.
Yeah, just to get that everyone involved, no matter who you are, no matter what's going
Yeah,
on, everyone can get in there and have
yeah.
a good time.
If your mate's got a disability and you're able-bodied, you can just go down and play with him. It's just like a bit of fun.
Yeah, because you don't get that with all other sports. So I suppose it makes wheelchair sports quite unique like that.
Yeah, exactly, yeah.
So what was the main reason for? I know you were saying you played rugby your whole life as well, but sticking to wheelchair rugby rather than going down the normal rugby route rather than wheelchair rugby.
Yeah, I think for me, obviously I played the running game pretty much my whole up to 15, 16, and I've loved the game. I still love it now, and I think it was just the right time to stop. It was that I was getting close to the age group of going to getting closer and closer to going open age. That was it. Getting close to that age group, and I thought that would probably be the best time to pretty much hang up the boots and just focus on the wheelchair side of it. Obviously, because I'm a lot smaller than everybody else, so I'm not saying that matters, but it's had some good going on with wheelchair at the time, and I was trying to push for an England spot around about that time, so I felt that was the kind of right thing to do and just focus on the wheelchair side of it.
So to be a world champion now of it though, like what's that like? How does that feel?
It's probably one of the best days of my life. I won't ever forget it. And I don't think it's kind of settled in yet still.
Mm-hmm.
So it's all a bit of a, I watch kind of, I still relive the moment in my head all the time of, me being next to Tom when Tom's lifting trophy up and looking at all the fans, it's just like a once in a lifetime opportunity to do it on home soil as well, in front of like friends, family.
Yeah.
And like, because I know that some of my friends and family wouldn't have been able to be there if it was abroad, somewhere like France or Australia.
Yeah.
I've only watched it back a couple of times, but I can still relive every moment like of each play, what happens. Before it happens, I'm like, oh, that happened, I still know it all. And it's like, it's just, just that once in a lifetime opportunity that, not a lot of people get to do, represent your country, home soil, win a World Cup. So, yeah, it's amazing.
And like you say, just in front of your friends and family, it just adds to that even more.
Yeah, it does, when I see smiles on their faces after, it would just, I don't know. I think it would have been a bit different if the one that wouldn't be there because of but to see them all after the game and get to talk to them all, I don't think it would
celebrate with them.
Yeah, exactly. Celebrate with them, and I don't think it would be the same if it was in a different country.
Yeah, exactly.
Because a lot of them got to come to a lot of the group stages as well. So the support I've had from every not just even the World Cup before that, from friends and family as well. It's been amazing.
So you mentioned the group stages there, your friends and family watching you through the group stages. At what point through the World Cup did it click in your head like this is a 100% very real possibility that we're walking out as the champions here, or was that the mindset from the get-go?
I think, well, for me, it was one game at a time. Obviously, we won a couple of games. I won't say not quite easily, but we got to people who saw the scoreline. It might look a bit easy because of how big it is. So the group stages, I thought we played really well in them. I took one game at a time because I like to be able to focus on that game, not just go, oh, we've got Spain or Wales or semi-finals next or something like that. So I think we all played really well in the group stages, but I think we were still building at the time and still getting to our kind of like peak to play in the final. So we were like taking one step at a time and getting better and better.
Yeah, definitely. And I think sometimes that's definitely the best way to take it, to not look too far ahead, because you might get a little bit overwhelmed or a little bit
a bit lost. Yeah.
And you might end up then obviously not even getting there, but then to the point of taking it one step at a time to not only get there but walk out as the world champions. What was what was it like in the moment then? The moment like that final whistle blew and you knew that's it, that you've won.
I don't know really. If you saw me, I booted balls at crowd, but I wish I didn't. I wish I kept that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know what was going through my head. I was, when it was the last couple of plays, and I'm there thinking we need to just literally play the ball slowly, catch it, slow it right down, waste the clock.
Yeah.
And literally, I think we had Rob got a penalty. I kicked it touch, and I think we just got a full set of 6 just to slow it all down. And that's exactly what we did. Jack's there spinning around. Nobody's able to take his tags. And so it's kind of bits of a blur. You see videos back, and you're like, that happened, and it's like all I can remember is like people diving on top of each other if we won, and everybody celebrating, all coaching staff running on. So yeah, it was just a amazing feeling.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, definitely. And to do that at the age of 22, am I right?
Yeah.
So at the age of 22 to be a World Cup champion, that must be absolutely insane.
Yeah. Actually thinking about it, I was 21 when I played in it. I turned 22 like a couple of days after. So it was, it's not a lot of people to say they've won a World Cup, even if they are 21, 22, just in their lifetime. I think that's one of the amazing things about it is, that shows about this sport. Anybody can play at any age.
Yeah.
You can get to international level, play the World Cup final, play the World Cup altogether, and hopefully that just drags more people into the game.
Yeah, definitely getting a lot of attention for it, showing that anyone and everyone can get involved and achieve high levels of success at that, even early on at the age of 21, going on to 22. So alongside all of that, like I say, you are 22, you are obviously wanting to live your life at the same time. How do you find that balance of, I know we were speaking about before, work and rugby work, but how do you find that work and life balance and still being able to go and do your own things as a world champion?
I wouldn't say it's hard, but I love doing it. It's part of the game, getting the recognition out there. Like last week, I went into school, a couple of schools, and did a talk and answered questions from kids and stuff like that. So they had like a piece of paper with all like different questions on. One at a time, they all got to stand up and ask me a question, and they were all really happy to be. They were all really happy that I came in because I got to join in their PE session as well.
Oh, nice!
So a really amazing feeling because they all said they watched the game as well. So it's nice to see that it's getting the recognition and loads of people are seeing the game. But from the schools, it's it has died down a little bit because me and the captain Tom Halliwell, we did on the first couple of weeks back. I think we did like 12 schools, like we just back to back going in because we were lucky enough to have the trophy, and so we were lucky enough to take it back to our own high schools, primary schools, stuff like that, to show them it because they've been part of our journey.
Yeah, definitely.
Since it started, so it felt like the right thing to do and take it to see them. So apart from that, I've took some holiday to do that as well. So from work, so I got special leaves to go to the World Cup.
Mm-hmm.
So I was lucky enough to get paid for my work to go and do it, which has left me with some holiday left. So it's actually worked out quite well. So I've got a holiday to go and visit these schools and do all these talks and stuff like that. So it has worked out quite well, actually. So yeah.
Very nice.
Yeah.
Well, mate, something that we do on this podcast is I get the previous guest to ask the next guest a question. So it's not always related because the previous guests don't know who's coming on next and all that sort of stuff. So the question to you was asked by Danica Thibault, who is a stand-up comedian in Canada, who got a lot of hate online for some of her jokes. Nothing offensive, just people didn't think they were very good.
Cool.
So her question to you is any advice on dealing with hate, but I suppose that could also translate to just dealing with an online presence and being out there, obviously showcasing your stuff with the World Cup and all things like that.
Yeah, so I've had it a couple of times when people have messaged me saying not quite nice stuff, and I feel like the best thing to do is, block that person straight away,
Mm-hmm.
take them out of your like life, so it doesn't put you under any stress. Um, and if it's still bothering you, go speak to someone,
Yeah.
either like a family member that you're close to, or if you've got, like in England, we've got people we can go speak to if there's problems, like a welfare manager and stuff like that. So we
Yeah,
can go speak to
definitely.
them and discuss stuff that's up, stuff like that. So yeah, if if somebody's not doing nice things to you, it's probably better to get off your chest as well. So
Yeah,
you're not
speak to
just
someone
holding
about it.
you're not holding it in all the time. So probably the best thing to do is speak to someone, and it'll all be good after. Yeah,
Yeah. Some good advice there, mate.
yeah.
So have you got a guest for a question for the next guest? It can be literally anything. It could be related to wheelchair rugby. It could be, have you ever won the World Cup before? It could be, what's your favorite style of tomato? Whatever you want.
We might have to go like who is the most famous person they've ever met?
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's a good question.
yeah.
To be honest, knowing who the next guest will be as well, they've probably met a few famous people in the time from
Yeah.
what they do. Yeah. So hopefully we'll get a decent answer from it. So yeah, thank you very much for coming on. I've really appreciated it. Do you
No
have
worries, mate. Thank
anything?
you for having me.
No, anytime, mate. Do you have anything that you wanna put out there, that you want to plug? Your socials or any matches coming up that people could come watch you?
Yeah, so all the fixtures will be going out quite soon, hopefully. They'll be on the RFL wheelchair website. And if anybody wants to, find out more about the game, they can always just drop me a message.
Yeah.
I've got, I'm on all social medias. My Insta's Nathan_C_01. If anybody wants to drop me a message, find out more about the game and get involved, because I'm more than happy to, that's what we're here for. We're trying to get more people into the game. So anybody wants to, have a go or just come down and watch and see what it's about, they can just drop me a message and I'll try and point you in the best way possible to the team that's closest to you. So yeah.
Very nice. Well, appreciate it, mate. Thank you very much.
No, thank you.